Like, what's bad about cars made in the last 25 years? And please be very specific.
Oh, I will. The first problem with new cars is you lose money hand over fist to depreciation.
Yes.
And then if you have to take out a loan for it, you're also paying interest on that.
Yes.
And one of the fastest ways I see normal people in general lose money is on new cars.
While most Americans are dumping their life savings into SUVs, 14 models are financially destroying their owners faster than a Las Vegas slot machine. With inventory sitting for over a year on dealer lots and depreciation rates that would make crypto investors weep, these automotive disasters are creating a financial crisis that could cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Here are the SUVs that only the financially foolish would dare to buy. Dodge Hornet. The Dodge Hornet is bleeding money so fast that dealers are literally begging customers to take them off their lots. Right now, there are over 14,500 Hornets sitting unsold across America, creating a 428-day supply of inventory that represents the worst sales disaster in modern automotive history. What this means for anyone foolish enough to buy one is instant financial devastation the moment they drive off the lot. Here's the shocking truth that Stellantis doesn't want you to know. The Hornet is getting outsold 10-1 by its own mechanical twin, the Jeep Compass. Internal dealer reports show that customers who cross-shop these vehicles consistently choose the Jeep version, leaving Hornet inventory to rot like forgotten produce in a warehouse. This isn't just poor marketing. This is proof that badge engineering has completely failed when your own corporate cousin destroys your sales. The financial carnage gets worse when you look at what's actually happening to Hornet values. Industry sources reveal that early buyers are already underwater by thousands of dollars, with some losing more than $8,000 in their first year of ownership. Dodge positioned this vehicle as affordable luxury, but the reality is that it's an instant depreciation bomb designed to transfer wealth from naive buyers straight into corporate coffers. Smart buyers figured this out immediately, which explains why Dodge managed to move only 1,536 units in the last 45 days, despite having a massive inventory sitting on dealer lots. The company is now offering desperate incentives that sometimes exceed $6,000, but even free money can't convince informed customers to fall for this financial trap. The key issue is that Stellantis took a perfectly adequate Jeep platform, slapped Dodge badges on it, marked up the price, and expected customers to ignore the obvious. Anyone buying a Hornet today is essentially paying premium money for a vehicle that the market has already rejected, guaranteeing financial losses that will compound for years to come. Jeep Grand Wagoneer. The Jeep Grand Wagoneer is destroying wealth faster than a casino slot machine, with owners losing $50,750 in just 3 years of ownership. This luxury SUV that originally sold for nearly $100,000 now carries a resale value that would make used car dealers laugh, hemorrhaging $16,916 every single year since 2023. The financial carnage becomes clear when you realize that dealers are sitting on over 2,200 Grand Wagoneers with a 428-day supply of inventory, meaning if Jeep stopped making them today, it would take more than a year to sell what's already rotting on dealer lots. Industry insiders reveal that this luxury SUV is depreciating at 51% over 3 years, placing it in the worst category for value retention among all 2023 SUVs. What makes this situation particularly devastating for buyers is how Stellantis marketed this vehicle as a premium luxury experience that would compete with the Cadillac Escalade and Lincoln Navigator. Internal dealer reports show that customers consistently choose the Escalade over the Grand Wagoneer when cross-shopping, leaving Jeep dealers stuck with inventory that moves slower than government bureaucracy. The key issue is that Jeep charged luxury prices for a vehicle built on a platform that consumers have already rejected in the marketplace. Smart buyers figured out that paying nearly 6 figures for a Jeep badge makes no financial sense when established luxury brands offer better resale values and proven reliability. The company is now forcing dealers to offer massive incentives just to move inventory, but even discounts exceeding $10,000 can't convince informed customers to fall for this financial trap. Anyone buying a Grand Wagoneer today is essentially volunteering to lose more money per year than most people make. all for the privilege of driving a luxury pretender that the market has already exposed as overpriced and underperforming. Mercedes-Benz EQB. The Mercedes-Benz EQB is vaporizing owner wealth at $9,394 per year, making it one of the fastest depreciating luxury vehicles in automotive history. Early buyers who paid over $50,000 for this electric SUV have already lost $28,182 in just 2 years, watching 52% of their investment disappear faster than their battery charge on a cold winter morning. What makes this financial disaster even more devastating is the 427-day inventory supply currently choking dealer lots across America, with over 3,500 units sitting unsold while Mercedes desperately tries to move inventory that nobody wants. Industry analysts reveal that the EQB falls into the 75 to 100% range for depreciation among all 2023 SUVs, meaning it performs worse than almost every other vehicle on the market. The brutal reality that Mercedes doesn't want customers to know is that electric vehicle buyers are rejecting the EQB in favor of competitors from Tesla, BMW, and even domestic brands that offer better range, faster charging, and superior technology. Dealer reports show that customers who test drive the EQB consistently walk away disappointed by its sluggish performance, limited range, and interior quality that feels more like a budget vehicle than a luxury Mercedes. Smart buyers figured out early that paying luxury prices for what amounts to an electrified version of Mercedes' cheapest SUV makes no financial sense, especially when the resale market treats these vehicles like toxic waste. The company is now offering massive incentives that sometimes exceed $15,000. But even throwing free money at the problem can't convince informed customers to fall into this electric money pit. Anyone buying an EQB today is essentially signing up to lose more money per year than most people spend on their entire transportation budget, all for the privilege of driving a luxury electric vehicle that destroys wealth faster than it charges its battery. Land Rover Discovery. The Land Rover Discovery is bleeding money through repair bills that can easily exceed $5,000 per year, making it one of the most expensive mistakes you can park in your driveway. With 1,664 units currently gathering dust on dealer lots and a 216-day inventory supply, this 7-year-old platform proves that British luxury engineering creates more problems than prestige for anyone foolish enough to ignore the warning signs. What makes this situation particularly devastating for owners is that Land Rover has essentially abandoned this model, leaving it to rot on a platform that dates back to 2017, with only minor cosmetic updates since 2021. Industry reliability data shows that Discovery owners face constant electrical failures, transmission problems, and suspension issues that cost thousands of dollars to repair, often starting before the warranty expires and continuing relentlessly throughout ownership. The brutal financial reality that Land Rover dealers won't tell you is that these vehicles lose value faster than they accumulate repair bills, creating a double hit of depreciation and maintenance costs that can easily exceed $15,000 per year. Service department insiders reveal that many Discovery owners become trapped in endless repair cycles, where fixing one problem often reveals 2 more expensive issues hiding underneath. Smart buyers have figured out that paying luxury prices for a vehicle with economy car reliability makes no financial sense, especially when competitors like the Lexus GX and Toyota Land Cruiser offer superior dependability with much lower ownership costs. The company is now offering desperate incentives exceeding $10,000, but even massive discounts can't overcome the reputation for unreliability that follows this vehicle everywhere. Anyone buying a Discovery today is essentially volunteering for years of expensive repairs, constant dealer visits, and the financial stress that comes with owning a luxury vehicle that breaks more often than it works, all while watching their investment crumble faster than British biscuits in the rain. Alfa Romeo Stelvio. The Alfa Romeo Stelvio is crashing through owner wallets with depreciation rates that rival domestic brands while charging luxury prices that can cost buyers $20,000 or more in lost value over just 3 years. With sales plummeting 25% and only 687 units sold in first quarter 2025, this Italian SUV proves that exotic badges can't hide financial disasters from smart buyers who understand the numbers. What makes this situation particularly embarrassing for Stellantis is that their 7-year-old Stelvio design is actually outselling the newer Tonale, proving that even within the same company, customers consistently reject the more expensive Italian options in favor of anything else. Industry insiders reveal that Alfa Romeo dealers are desperately trying to move Stelvio inventory by offering incentives that sometimes exceed $8,000. But even massive discounts can't overcome the brand's reputation for poor reliability and catastrophic resale values. The brutal financial reality that Alfa Romeo marketing won't tell you is that this vehicle depreciates like a domestic SUV while requiring maintenance costs that rival German luxury brands, creating the worst possible combination for owners who thought they were buying something special. Dealer service reports show that Stelvio owners face constant electrical problems, transmission issues, and parts availability nightmares that can leave vehicles stranded at service centers for weeks while waiting for components shipped from Italy. Smart buyers figured out years ago that paying $50,000 for an Italian SUV that loses value faster than a Chrysler makes no financial sense, especially when competitors like the BMW X3 and Mercedes GLC offer superior reliability with much better resale values. The company is now stuck with inventory that moves slower than government paperwork while trying to convince customers that Italian passion justifies financial punishment. Anyone buying a Stelvio today is essentially paying luxury prices for the privilege of experiencing domestic-level depreciation combined with exotic repair bills and the constant frustration of owning a vehicle that breaks your bank and your heart. Alfa Romeo Tonale. The Alfa Romeo Tonale is hemorrhaging owner wealth at premium Italian prices while delivering Chrysler-level execution that costs buyers thousands of dollars more than identical mechanicals wearing Dodge badges. With sales crashing 30% and only 725 units moved in first quarter 2025, this badge engineering disaster proves that slapping Italian logos on shared platforms creates financial nightmares for anyone foolish enough to pay extra for fake prestige. What makes this situation absolutely humiliating for Alfa Romeo is that the mechanically identical Dodge Hornet is outselling the Tonale 10-1, meaning customers consistently choose the cheaper American version over the supposedly premium Italian model. Internal Stellantis documents reveal that both vehicles share the same platform, engines, transmissions, and major components. Yet the Tonale commands thousands of dollars more while delivering identical performance and reliability. The financial carnage becomes clear when you realize that Tonale buyers are essentially paying a $5,000 to $10,000 premium for Italian badges and slightly different interior trim, only to watch their investment depreciate faster than the cheaper Dodge version because smart buyers refuse to fall for obvious badge engineering tricks. Dealer reports show that customers who cross-shop these vehicles consistently walk away from the Tonale after discovering they can get the same SUV for thousands less with a Dodge badge. Industry insiders reveal that Alfa Romeo is now offering desperate incentives exceeding $7,000 just to move inventory, but even throwing massive discounts at the problem can't convince informed buyers to pay premium prices for shared corporate platforms. The company is stuck with a vehicle that represents everything wrong with modern badge engineering, where executives assume customers will pay extra for heritage and styling while ignoring identical mechanicals underneath. Anyone buying a Tonale today is essentially volunteering to lose thousands of dollars for the privilege of driving a Dodge Hornet with Italian leather and inflated pricing, proving that some people will pay anything to avoid admitting they bought a Chrysler product. Lincoln Aviator. The Lincoln Aviator is destroying owner investments with the financial certainty of a discontinued luxury vehicle that will cost buyers $15,000 to $20,000 in depreciation over the next 3 years as Ford abandons the model for electric alternatives. With over 8,150 units currently clogging dealer lots and a 392-day inventory supply, this luxury SUV represents everything wrong with buying a vehicle that manufacturers have already marked for death. What makes this situation particularly devastating for potential buyers is that Ford has quietly confirmed the Aviator's production will end soon to make room for electric vehicle manufacturing, creating instant orphan vehicle status that guarantees plummeting resale values and limited future support. Industry insiders reveal that Lincoln dealers are desperately trying to clear inventory before customers realize they're buying a dead-end luxury SUV with zero future development or meaningful updates planned. The brutal financial reality that Lincoln marketing won't discuss is that discontinued luxury vehicles lose value faster than economy cars because wealthy buyers refuse to invest in products with no future, leaving Aviator owners stuck with depreciating assets that become harder to sell every month. Service department sources confirm that parts availability will become increasingly problematic as Ford shifts resources toward electric vehicle production, potentially leaving owners with expensive repair bills and extended service waits. Smart buyers have figured out that paying $70,000 for a luxury SUV that manufacturers have already abandoned makes no financial sense, especially when competitors like the Cadillac Escalade and Mercedes GLS offer continued development and long-term support. The company is now offering massive incentives exceeding $12,000, but even desperate discounts can't overcome the reality that this vehicle has no future in Ford's electrification plans. Anyone buying an Aviator today is essentially volunteering to own an automotive dead end that will become increasingly expensive to maintain while losing value faster than ice cream melts in summer heat, all for the privilege of driving yesterday's luxury technology with tomorrow's orphan status. Ford Edge. The Ford Edge is bleeding owner equity with the devastating certainty of a discontinued vehicle that will cost buyers $10,000 to $15,000 in lost value as production officially ends and residual values collapse faster than a house of cards in a hurricane. With sales crashing from 35,157 units in the previous year to a pathetic 2,078 units in first quarter 2025. This midsize SUV proves that even established models can become financial disasters when manufacturers abandon ship. What makes this situation particularly brutal for Edge owners is that Ford has officially confirmed production will end in 2024, creating immediate lame duck status that guarantees plummeting resale values as buyers flee toward vehicles with actual futures. Industry sources reveal that Ford dealers are desperately trying to clear remaining inventory through massive incentives that sometimes exceed $8,000. But even throwing free money at the problem can't convince smart buyers to invest in automotive history. The financial carnage becomes obvious when you realize that discontinued vehicles lose value faster than melting ice because no rational buyer wants to own a car that manufacturers have already declared obsolete, especially when parts availability and service support will diminish over time. Dealer service reports confirm that Ford is already shifting resources away from the Edge platform toward electric vehicle development, leaving current owners with a vehicle that represents yesterday's priorities in tomorrow's automotive landscape. Smart buyers figured out months ago that purchasing any vehicle in its final production year makes no financial sense, particularly when the manufacturer is actively promoting newer alternatives and abandoning entire product segments. The company is now stuck with inventory that moves slower than government bureaucracy while trying to convince customers to buy into a platform that Ford itself has rejected. Anyone buying an Edge today is essentially purchasing a guaranteed financial loss that will become more expensive to maintain while losing value faster than a smartphone after the new model launches, all for the privilege of owning Ford's admitted failure. Lincoln Nautilus. The Lincoln Nautilus is destroying American luxury credibility while costing buyers $12,000 to $18,000 in depreciation as Ford abandons domestic production in favor of Chinese manufacturing that transforms this former flagship into an orphaned import with questionable quality control. With an average lot time of 80.6 days, making it the slowest selling SUV in America, this luxury disaster proves that even premium badges can't hide fundamental product failures from buyers who understand true value. What makes this situation particularly humiliating for Lincoln is that Ford has officially discontinued North American production of the Nautilus, choosing instead to import redesigned versions from the Chang'an Ford plant in China, while hoping customers won't notice the shift from domestic luxury to foreign manufacturing. Industry insiders reveal that this production change represents Ford's complete abandonment of the luxury SUV segment in favor of electric vehicle development, leaving Nautilus buyers with a vehicle that exists only to fill dealer inventory gaps. The financial devastation becomes clear when you realize that imported luxury vehicles from Chinese factories carry significantly different resale implications than domestically produced American luxury SUVs, especially when the importing strategy represents corporate cost-cutting rather than quality improvement. Service department sources confirm that parts availability and warranty support become increasingly complicated when vehicles are manufactured overseas by joint venture partners rather than domestic Ford facilities. Smart buyers have recognized that paying luxury prices for a vehicle that Ford refuses to manufacture in America makes no financial sense, particularly when the company has essentially admitted the domestic version failed by moving production to China. Lincoln dealers are now stuck with inventory that represents the last gasp of American-built Nautilus production, while trying to convince customers that Chinese-manufactured replacements somehow represent progress. Anyone buying a Nautilus today is essentially purchasing the final remnants of Lincoln's failed luxury strategy, while volunteering to own an import masquerading as American luxury, proving that some buyers will pay premium prices for anything as long as it carries the right badge and the wrong manufacturing location. Infiniti QX55. The Infiniti QX55 is hemorrhaging owner investments with depreciation rates that can cost buyers $15,000 to $20,000 over 3 years, while delivering the worst possible combination of premium pricing and subcompact practicality that nobody actually wants. With only 850 units sold in first quarter 2025, this coupe SUV disaster proves that Japanese luxury brands can create financial nightmares just as effectively as their struggling European competitors. What makes this situation particularly devastating for the few buyers unfortunate enough to own one is that Infiniti created a vehicle that satisfies neither traditional SUV buyers who need cargo space nor sports car enthusiasts who want actual performance, resulting in a niche product with microscopic market appeal and correspondingly terrible resale values. Industry analysts reveal that the QX55's sloping roofline reduces cargo capacity so dramatically that it offers less practicality than many compact cars while charging luxury SUV prices for the privilege of owning automotive dysfunction. The brutal financial reality that Infiniti marketing refuses to acknowledge is that coupe SUVs represent a failed experiment that costs buyers thousands of dollars in extra depreciation because the used car market treats these vehicles like expensive mistakes rather than desirable luxury goods. Dealer reports show that QX55 owners face extended selling times and significantly lower trade-in values compared to conventional SUVs because practical buyers refuse to pay premium prices for compromised functionality. Smart buyers figured out immediately that paying $50,000 for a vehicle that combines the worst aspects of SUVs and coupes makes no financial sense, especially when competitors like the BMW X4 and Mercedes GLC coupe offer superior performance and better brand recognition. Infiniti is now stuck with a product that nobody wants while trying to convince the few remaining customers that sacrificing practicality for questionable styling somehow justifies luxury pricing. Anyone buying a QX55 today is essentially volunteering to own a financial experiment that failed in the marketplace, while paying premium prices for the privilege of discovering why coupe SUVs represent everything wrong with modern luxury vehicle development. Jeep Compass. The Jeep Compass is bleeding brand value while costing buyers $8,000 to $12,000 in excessive depreciation over 3 years by delivering rental car quality at premium Jeep prices that destroy the legendary reputation built by vehicles like the Wrangler and Grand Cherokee. With 31,731 units sold in the first quarter of 2025, these numbers might sound respectable until you realize they represent a massive failure to meet Stellantis expectations for what should be Jeep's volume leader in the compact SUV segment. What makes this situation particularly damaging to Jeep's heritage is that the Compass delivers such generic mediocrity that it actively destroys customer loyalty by proving that the Jeep badge no longer guarantees the rugged capability and distinctive character that built the brand's reputation over decades of off-road excellence. Industry quality reports consistently rank the Compass among the worst performers in reliability and customer satisfaction, creating a situation where buyers pay premium prices for substandard execution that rivals the cheapest economy vehicles. The financial carnage becomes obvious when you compare Compass resale values to competitors like the Honda CR-V and Toyota RAV4, which consistently maintain higher residual values because they deliver superior quality and reliability that smart buyers recognize and reward in the used car marketplace. Dealer service departments report that Compass owners face constant problems with transmission issues, electrical failures, and build quality defects that cost thousands of dollars to repair, while destroying any remaining confidence in the Jeep brand promise. Smart buyers have figured out that paying $35,000 for a vehicle that delivers economy car reliability with rental fleet interior quality makes no financial sense when established competitors offer superior ownership experiences at similar prices. Stellantis is now stuck with a product that undermines the entire Jeep brand while trying to convince customers that mediocrity somehow represents authentic Jeep DNA. Anyone buying a Compass today is essentially volunteering to subsidize Stellantis cost-cutting while discovering why paying premium prices for substandard quality represents the worst possible automotive investment in today's competitive marketplace. Ford Escape. The Ford Escape is destroying owner equity with the mathematical certainty of a discontinued vehicle that will cost buyers $10,000 to $15,000 in accelerated depreciation as Ford officially abandons the compact SUV segment for electric vehicle production by 2026. With 37,357 units sold in the first quarter of 2025, these numbers represent the final gasps of a model that Ford has already marked for execution, creating instant lame duck status that guarantees plummeting resale values for anyone foolish enough to buy into a dead-end platform. What makes this situation particularly devastating for current and potential Escape owners is that Ford CEO Jim Farley has publicly stated the company plans to eliminate all internal combustion two-row crossovers, meaning the Escape exists only to fill dealer inventory, while Ford transitions to electric alternatives that may or may not succeed in the marketplace. Industry insiders reveal that Ford dealers are desperately trying to move Escape inventory before customers realize they're purchasing a vehicle with an official expiration date stamped by corporate headquarters. The financial carnage becomes obvious when you understand that discontinued vehicles lose value faster than ice melts in summer because smart buyers refuse to invest in products that manufacturers have already declared obsolete, especially when those same manufacturers are gambling entire product segments on unproven electric vehicle demand. Internal Ford documents confirm that the company is shifting all compact SUV resources toward electric development, leaving Escape owners with a vehicle that represents yesterday's priorities in Ford's electrification strategy. Smart buyers have recognized that purchasing any vehicle in its final years makes no financial sense, particularly when the manufacturer has publicly announced plans to abandon the entire segment for electric alternatives with uncertain market acceptance. Ford is now stuck trying to convince customers to buy into a platform that the company itself has rejected while preparing dealers for the inevitable inventory clearance. Anyone buying an Escape today is essentially purchasing a guaranteed financial loss while volunteering to own Ford's admitted failure in the compact SUV segment. Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. The Mitsubishi Outlander Sport is bleeding owner investments with catastrophic depreciation that can cost buyers $12,000 to $18,000 over 5 years, while delivering bottom-tier quality disguised by artificially low prices that fool unsuspecting customers into thinking they're getting a bargain from a brand that exists on automotive life support. With only 6,909 units sold in the first quarter of 2025, This microscopic sales figure proves that even desperate pricing can't convince informed buyers to invest in a vehicle built on an outdated platform that competes against modern rivals, like a horse racing against sports cars. What makes this situation particularly tragic for the few buyers unfortunate enough to own one is that Mitsubishi has essentially abandoned meaningful investment in North American product development, leaving the Outlander Sport to compete with a platform and technology that feels like it belongs in a museum rather than a modern showroom. Industry analysts reveal that this SUV uses powertrains, safety systems, and interior technology that lag years behind competitors, while offering a dealer network so sparse that service and warranty support become genuine challenges for owners. The brutal financial reality that Mitsubishi's desperate marketing won't reveal is that bottom-barrel pricing usually signals bottom-tier quality. And the Outlander Sport delivers exactly what its low price suggests through poor reliability ratings, substandard build quality, and resale values that collapse faster than a house of cards in an earthquake. Automotive industry insiders confirm that Mitsubishi's microscopic market share and limited dealer network create a death spiral where poor sales lead to reduced investment, which creates even worse products that generate fewer sales. Smart buyers have figured out that paying any amount for a vehicle from a brand with questionable long-term viability makes no financial sense when established competitors offer superior quality, better reliability, and stronger resale values at similar prices. Anyone buying an Outlander Sport today is essentially volunteering to own an automotive fossil while discovering why some bargains cost more than premium purchases in the long run. Volkswagen ID.4. The Volkswagen ID.4 is destroying the German engineering reputation while costing early buyers $15,000 to $25,000 in depreciation as software failures and charging problems create an electric vehicle disaster that proves even legendary automotive brands can produce expensive technological nightmares. With over 6,000 units rotting on dealer lots and a 297-day market inventory supply, this electric SUV represents everything wrong with rushing unfinished products to market while hoping customers won't notice the fundamental flaws hiding beneath premium German pricing. What makes this situation particularly devastating for ID.4 owners is that Volkswagen promised cutting-edge electric technology but delivered buggy software, unreliable charging systems, and user interfaces so confusing that many owners can't figure out basic vehicle functions without consulting technical support. Industry insiders reveal that Volkswagen dealers are offering massive incentives exceeding $10,000, while quietly admitting that the ID.4's software problems may require years to resolve through over-the-air updates that may or may not actually fix the underlying issues. The brutal financial reality that Volkswagen marketing won't discuss is that electric vehicle buyers are rejecting the ID.4 in favor of competitors from Tesla, Hyundai, and even domestic brands that offer superior software integration, faster charging speeds, and more intuitive user experiences at similar or lower prices. Service department reports confirm that ID.4 owners face constant frustration with charging failures, software glitches, and system crashes that can leave vehicles stranded or operating in reduced power modes that defeat the entire purpose of electric vehicle ownership. Smart buyers have figured out that paying premium prices for German engineering doesn't guarantee German quality when that engineering involves software development that Volkswagen clearly doesn't understand, as well as traditional mechanical systems. Anyone buying an ID.4 today is essentially volunteering to become an unpaid beta tester for Volkswagen's electric vehicle experiment, while watching their investment depreciate faster than outdated smartphones in a technology marketplace that rewards competence over heritage.